Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm just going to be kind of just showing you what I'm up to today, which is trying to get our Honda CBR race bike back on track because it's already quite late in the season and we've missed 2 races. It's been 3 races in total. I built a bike ready for Mallory Park back in March, and unfortunately it blew up during hour 2 of the race, which is never ideal, and it was a little bit disheartening. I got a little bit annoyed and frustrated because I put this bike together within a week. Pretty upset that the bike blew up, but then we couldn't get a team together we couldn't get parts for Darley Moor, which I was really gutted about because that track actually looked like quite good fun on a little 125. Because the parts that we got sent, absolutely knackered. I mean, yeah, this seems to be like a running problem in the race scene, but this is the cylinder head we got sent. I'm not gonna put any names, but the guy races at the TT, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera. There's a hole where he's ported it. Now that was full of chemical metal, which I know some people say they do to smooth out ports, but he'd ported it to an inch of its life and gone through it. So he'd actually killed the cylinder head. There's a hole here. You can see my finger through it. So he'd ported this far too much and gone through it. So he filled it with chemical metal, and then I managed to pick it off with my finger, which isn't ideal. And another worrying thing, he left the valves in while he ported it. Like, why would you do that? We ordered that like in a bit of a rush to just try and like get on track. That didn't happen because that thing was absolutely knackered. And we were also sent a piston with no gudgeon pins, clips, or piston rings. So we were screwed from that. It was too much of a rush to get to Darley Moor. And then after that was not Three Sisters, where was it? Ella Park. That was a 10-hour race, and we just couldn't get a team together. So for a 10-hour race at Ella Park on one of these little 125s, we wanted over 4 of us on the team because it is grueling up there. The last time we raced there, it was like 35 degrees, and it was absolutely horrible. Our next race is Wilton Mill Festival of Speed. So I'm just basically getting this 125 ready again for the race. It's a little Honda CBR. We're running a high lift cam with a high compression piston because back in our first race we were running a big valve head on a from Thailand, which lasted 2 hours until it managed to float a valve or drop a valve. They're 2-part valves. They're not that strong, so we completely obliterated that head. So that was a few £100 down the drain. But now we're going to try and keep it a little bit more reliable and just go for the high lift cam and the high comp piston. We also do have an adjustable ECU, 28mm carb. I didn't video it, but so we've got a brand new barrel, got a brand new piston in there. I've flowed this properly. I don't know, we were just in a rush. We couldn't get another cylinder head at the time, so we ordered that one over there, and that was just a mistake. So we got this cylinder head. I think we stole it off a bike out the showroom, actually. But it's full built loom, 3 different systems, ignition, starter, and charging. We have to run a PowerTech can because they're the rules. We've left the powder coat off the wheels, so these aren't painted grey. These are just shot blasted, which keeps the weight down. Every gram you take off of a wheel is the same as taking 2 off of a frame, which is quite cool math. Aftermarket rad hoses, all them bits come from Thailand. Little quick action throttle, nice and cheap Chinese to the jobby because we are going to crash it and we are going to break it. 28mm carb, but we have got a CV carb turning up that I'm interested to try on it because we've got a Chinese bike out there that's got a copy of that engine and it runs on a CV carb and it runs really good. Like, it picks up the revs amazing, whereas this is a little bit more, I'd say, flat at the bottom and then way better at the top because, you know, you are in the top rev range most of the time. Internals in the forks, we've got emulators in there, we've got shortened springs and then bigger spacers. Nice homemade number board because we didn't have one made for our last race. YSS rear shock, that was brand spanking new. Sorted the new piston in there. I really need to move this pan of oil because that's going to go absolutely everywhere if I keep it there, or I'm going to drop nuts and bolts in them and give them a little bit of rust protection. Oh, this is a Honda RS125. If you've not heard of a Honda RS125, have a look at them. They're like old GP bikes. And yeah, this thing's super lightweight. We had to get it, this was all like welded on and stuff, so we had to get that sorted. by a local guy who did a really nice job. Made the bike super light, but obviously if you crash, then you've got to replace this subframe, and these are really expensive. I think they're about 180 quid brand new. We luckily got this one used because it had been in the crash and broke and repaired for like 60 quid. So that was a bargain, and I do like a good eBay, Facebook Marketplace bargain, as you know. But yeah, so I'm just going to crack on with the rest of this and get some bits and pieces done on it. I want to do a compression test in a minute. I'll show you guys that and see how little compression it makes with the overlap of these cams. It's actually quite entertaining. It's quite surprising they even start, to be honest. And then, yeah, got the battery on charge, stick some fuel in it and see if it fires up. So bear with me 2 minutes. Let me just get the compression tester on, and then let's have a little look at that and see if we can get it to put out some numbers. Cool, 2 secs. Okay, so I've just got one of these little cheapo eBay jobbies. You don't need anything special to get a rough PSI reading, you know, it's not bloody British Superbike, is it? Yeah, you don't need anything special with these, but if you are going to use it regularly, I'd be careful because sometimes this will undo from that and you can end up getting some of your compression tester stuck inside your cylinder head. So I need to put these 2 wires together, if you can see them, because that's our ignition. We did have a switch up here, but it broke pretty much straight away, so we made like a little master key and we'd like plug that in while we were racing, which was slightly annoying because we couldn't turn the bike off, and when you're in the pits on these you've got to turn them off and run them to the next person. But this engine's not ran at all, so I can't imagine the compression being crazy because it's not obviously been worn in or anything like that. But let's turn it over and see what we get out of it. I don't know why I'm pulling the throttle wide open. There's no carb on it. That's actually not too bad for the overlap on these cams. There's 125 psi, which isn't too bad because we were running a 320 cam beforehand, and the overlap was so much you'd be lucky if you saw fucking 90 psi of it. So for an engine that's not worn in and it's cold as well, that's pretty good. Let's go again. There we go. It's coming up like 130 now. Happy days. So that's good news. That's making way better compression than last time, so I'm sure the boys will be happy about that. But obviously compression doesn't always mean horsepower. So if you've got a super high duration cam, you can make quite low figures at low RPM of PSI, but in the rev range, obviously it's going to rev out a lot more, it's going to breathe a lot more air. But with these little bikes, it's nice to have a little bit of torque because they are so bloody gutless. And on the rocker cover, I need to get the carb on. We have got another carb turned up today, so hopefully that comes so I can try that out. Get some fuel in it and see if it goes bang. Hopefully it does. I'm sure it will. But I need to get some exhaust studs on there as well. Also, before I forget, I also need to put a new gasket in here. Pump this bloody bench up because it always goes down. You leave it overnight and it just slowly sinks. I think the seal's gone in it. Little bit of advice about buying barrels for the Honda CBR. You need to be really, really careful when you buy these off of eBay. If you do want to buy one, maybe send me a message and I can always send you more of a genuine OEM fitment. But quite a lot of the time on eBay, you will end up buying what is called a sonic barrel for the Honda CBR. And I think even in the package, they sell you some JB Weld and they want you to actually like JB Weld up the crankcase, which no, don't do it. Just buy a genuine Honda barrel and piston. I don't know if they're coated or not. I don't think they are, but they are completely different where the timing chain goes. So I think I did have, because we've got a sonic gasket kit here. So yeah, this is a sonic cylinder base gasket, because it's the same head gaskets and side casings and stuff. But yeah, so that's sonic and that's the Honda CBR. They will fit. Hang on, am I being special? They will fit. So they'll fit the original holes, but basically this bit here is slightly longer for the timing chain. On the Sonic, Look how much shorter that is. So what they want you to do, because obviously you're going to have this gap, they want you to JB weld up these bits here so you can fit the barrel to it. Don't do it. It's horrible. It might work, but don't even bother. I wouldn't. Just buy the right one. So DM me and I can always send you out one. I don't think they're that expensive for a genuine anyway. I think they're like maybe £70 to £100 posted. But yeah, just keep an eye on that because a lot of the kits on eBay will be a Sonic barrel, not Honda CBR barrel. Okay, so now I've got the bike jacked up in the air a little bit because the bench slowly comes down. I've now got my stator cover gasket nicely on, ready to go onto the bike. If you can, just clean up the surfaces on these, because if you don't and a little bit of dirt gets stuck in there, it's just going to leak and it will annoy you. And hold it a little bit because they like to ping on. Got to get that starter lined up and then it should just slip on like that because there's a magnet in there, so it's just going to pull it on and then get your assorted bolts. These are all pretty random, so you have to find where they go and which hole they go in. So let's get this tightened up. Let's get the rocker cover on and let's get some fuel in it. Do you know what I am missing? I'm missing the other Jubilee clip for this. Don't actually know where it is. Found it. If you find yourself working on a lot of Japanese bike, definitely invest in some like Japanese spec screwdrivers because it makes a hell of a difference. These aren't even very expensive, these ones. These are like cheapo eBay jobbies and they work a treat. Right, let's get some oil in this Honda. I'm just going to do a few little checks, go around and make sure that I've got everything right before I do. Oh, it needs a spark plug, and with these high compression pistons, you actually have to put a copper washer under the spark plug to create enough of a gap, because we've had it in the past where it'll go bang, you take the spark plug out and it's closed the gap, so it's just getting too close to it. We have got 2 base gaskets on to get 1 mil of squish, because I think on these Hondas, if you go below 1 mil of squish, you have got a like chance of knocking it or blowing it up, whatever, kissing a valve. So we run it nice and safe at 1 mil, which 2 base gaskets made it happen, which is great. So that's all good. That's all within spec. Let's get some oil in it and then we'll fire it up. Hondas take about just under a litre, 950 mils or so. Unfortunately, we haven't got any nice graded oil for racing at the moment. We've only got our semi-synthetic, but it'll be fine from that. We do. Don't screw these in, just dip them. I think one of the only, I can't say only because I don't know, but one of the only ones that you screw in is Piaggio. Like that. Just on the upper mark, lovely. Running a car or a bike on too much oil is just as dangerous as running it with not enough oil, because you'll bloody lock the engine up. Touch these 2 ignition wires without giving myself a little 12-volt shock and just pump a little bit of oil around. The state of that. That's what happens. It's not going to focus, but that's not what it's supposed to look like. Have I got any more? I said I'm not going to run any coolant or water in it at the moment. When we go racing, we're not actually allowed to use coolant. You're only allowed to use water because coolant is extremely slippy. Just a little nip up with that. Crazy. Got a lovely Thailand spark plug cap on. Extra Ruppums apparently. It's all bullshit. Still just makes it spark. Right. I think we're ready for some fuel, so I'm going to grab the tank, clip that in, let that bowl fill up, and see if it fires. Oh, I need to put the exhaust on. I forgot about that. Okay, I'll put the exhaust on and then we'll fire it up. Right, let's get this tank on. Obviously, we only lasted 2 hours, and when you race these little free tech bikes, you're probably getting like 890 mpg out the bastards, which is always nice. We've got little quick release lines here as well. Right, that carb is now drinking fuel, so fingers crossed this is our first start up. See what happens. Can't remember if I took the choke off the carb or not. No, still there. 125 is just when they're tuned like this, they don't really idle very well. I mean, we could probably spend a little bit more time on a dyno and actually like get it really good, but dynos cost money and we're poor, so that's why we don't race the big bikes. This is way cheaper and you get the same kind of buzz. You know, you're not going as fast, but it's a big grid of people and it's a lot of fun. It's elbow to elbow, so don't let them rub on the frame. Drop it down a bit. The idle is very high. I don't want it idling that high for a minute, just because I want to keep it nice and not cool. I want to take it for a heat cycle, and let it warm up slowly rather than revving its nuts off. But it fired up pretty much straight away. Massive regulator in the way. That's good news. Right, let's take out a bit of this idle. Don't even need a screwdriver, I can use my fingers. No. A little bit. Doesn't run great, but it's running, which is good news. Just see a drip of oil on the floor though. Hopefully that's not coming from anywhere dangerous. Where? Just run. Can't run it for long because it's got no coolant in it. But it's nice to get a bit of heat in it. We can do another compression test and then go from there. But yeah, so that's just a little bit of what I've been doing today. Nothing crazy, nothing that exciting, but I thought I'd share it with you guys. If you've got any video ideas or you want to see anything, just pop a comment down below. Let me know. Be sure to like, subscribe to our channel because we will be doing more and more stuff. And hopefully soon we'll get some content of us actually going out and racing this thing rather than just sitting in the workshop all the time. But yeah, thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye-bye.